Good morning, good morning, good morning, BSHU. Good morning and welcome to the regional call. We're going to go ahead and get started. We got a number of topics on the agenda today. We will be starting, obviously, with our second portion. So we'll start with our Central Texas Safety Champion Committee and some safety shares, some trainings, and communications. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take it away, fellas.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is Hobbs from the Go Getters. My participation today is I'm gonna try to make it real quick, even though it's not less important. I just want to make sure during the last few days, especially now that the summer's coming, they're sending out many communications through Tech Genie about safety. Try short, so you don't have to be spending a lot of time reading these, but they go straight to the point of what things you might need to be looking at more on these times. We try to make it really targeted to what we do and what is during different periods of the year. I just wanted to went over real quick the last few they set and 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 just make sure everyone understands why we're doing this, and they just want to create a safety awareness mind on every one of us, because we do this every day and you tend to get confident on what you do, and then you start doing things you shouldn't be doing just to rush out or because you think you're going to be safe and all that. So I just wanted to go point out some of the communications and one for safety corner. They're called safety corners. They're in Tech Genie communications portion. 5 tips for drilling safety. So I know you guys been out in the field. You guys been using drill almost every day, so you might think you know it all. Just go ahead, go in, read it, see what they're talking about. They talk about torque and not trying to get injured by drilling something that might cause a problem. They sent another one on May 23rd. This one was a little bit before that one, called hydroplaning. So this one was about safety precautions you should see a lot more in the summertime when rain a lot more, and you're more prone to this type of situations. And the last one they send, and it's not deleting the safety corner, preventing backing collisions, so the circle of protections. So you might think, why they keep sending the same thing over and over again? The more they say it, the more every time you park now, you'll be thinking, oh, they talk about this and they talk about this, and that's what they want to create. The circle of protection. Just putting the cones out is not just for fun or just to be to see it or that it looks pretty or anything like that. It's for you to check your environment, check anything that may cause any type of problems, and mitigate that situation or eliminate it if possible. So hopefully you guys are reading these. This is part of your job, of our job. Everyone, it doesn't exclude anyone. And again, all they want to do is build that safety mindset of you thinking before something happened, oh, this could happen because I already read about this. So without further ado, Jason will be taking the no, my bad. Justin will be taking the next topic real quick.
Good morning, fellas. Justin Ripley here from Rock Nation. I was going to talk to y'all about a pretty serious safety matter for this time of year. going over heat prevention, illness, hydration, all of that good stuff. We all think, you get hot, you drink something cold to cool down. A lot of this heat prevention can be prevented. It's not getting hot right now and doing something about it now. It starts yesterday. Drink your water yesterday. Drink your Gatorade yesterday. Because when your body starts to sweat, what actually happens is it releases sodium and chloride. As it gets released, our body needs it to have put back in there, and our body can't reproduce it fast enough. So if we're putting it in there before we start losing it, as we start losing it, we keep up with it. And what I mean by keeping up with it, every 15 minutes, OSHA regulations recommend that even if you're not thirsty, to drink water every 15 minutes. And it's for a reason, to keep us on our feet. Going over, the heat and everything, a couple things. Eating right as well. So it's not just drinking, it's the fatigue portion of it as well. Make sure you eat right, not just eating, fried chicken or a big old greasy hamburger or something like that. Make sure you eat right and in portions, eat enough as well. If you do start to, get hot, some of the symptoms that you're going to see, one I already mentioned, fatigue. You're going to get dizzy. You're going to start getting a headache. You're going to get nauseous, start vomiting. And these are a few signs of the symptoms of you're already at that point where you've gone too far for heat stress or heat stroke or something of that nature. When your skin starts getting real dry, your body gets real hot, and you're sweating real bad, and you quit sweating and you're still hot. That's when you know it's gone too far. You need to try to get in a shaded area, lay your body down, elevate your feet. Right away, notify your manager, and if you're to the point, notify 911 as well, because it's a serious, take quick. Again, all can be prevented by starting the day before, hours before your shift. Start drinking water and Gatorade to keep your body in that cycle to where it's moving already. If you try to avoid from wearing dark clothing if possible, heavy clothing. I know sometimes in the wintertime you have to stay warm or whatever, and it can still happen in the wintertime. But over 90, 93 degrees is when you want to start limiting your outside work, limiting your attic work, take breaks in between, and not necessarily have to take a break every time you go in the attic for 5 or 10 minutes. Come back out of that attic and go install some sensors and a motion, and then go back up and do some attic work, come back down and install your panel, and separate your work from inside to outside work, so that you're not constantly focused on that outdoor camera for an hour. If you're having trouble with that cable runs and you get frustrated and you lose track of time, then you start getting overheated. It's a very serious matter. Just make sure that you drink plenty of water, take your breaks as needed, and eat well, so that you don't come across some of the situations that people come across on day-to-day issues. Thanks, guys.
Good morning, team. It's Jason from Team Invictus, and this morning we're going to go over the JSAs. Let's make sure that we continue to do them before and while we're at jobs. What I mean before, when you do your walkthrough, just make sure that you assess all the risks, document it, and then mitigate it. When we mean mitigate it, we want to close it out by saying what happened. Did we avoid the risk? As for example, if someone fell through a roof before you got there, did you avoid the risk? Was it taken care of? You want to document everything you can and close it out so that we won't have any open issues, because the open issues are saying that there's a risk there that we didn't take care of, and if it's something that is serious as damage to the customer's home, of course we need to call our managers and let them know what's going on. Another thing is, when we're doing the JSA, let's make sure that when we complete the first one, if we do have to go into the attic after we go back into the act. That's what I want to talk about today, guys. So just make sure we continue noticing all the risks, taking care of the risks, and getting in touch with each other. Appreciate you listening. Thanks.
We have one of our own with a safety share, or I should say a safety story. So, Aurelio, are you on?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. Take it over and explain what happened.
Yeah, good morning, guys. This is Aurelio, Rock Nation. The story last Friday. Um, Actually, it kept we need to get hydrated yesterday. That is true, because what happened on Friday, I was feeling dizzy during the day, and I had feeling dizzy 2 days prior to that, but I felt that I was drinking enough water, um, but I guess it was catching up to me, and like, you know what, I don't feel right. I take a lot of pain. I could deal with it, but I couldn't do this. It was like, no, this is out of my hands now. So I just called my acting FSM at the time, tell him, hey man, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna eat. Keep in mind, just by drinking water doesn't mean you're keeping all the vitamins and everything you need with all this heat. I didn't eat right all day, and we get caught up doing this big install, you know, or if we didn't eat breakfast and then we jump into 2 service and install, and then we end up eating at 2 o'clock in the heat. We don't drink anything, so little by little, it starts catching up to me, and that's what happened to me. And I was like, I didn't eat in the morning. I ended up eating until late afternoon. I was drinking a lot of water. I was down like 5 bottles of water, but that was not enough. So, man, it was scary. I did end up going to the ER because I didn't know what to do. My body temperature kept on, sweating, cold sweat. I was hyperventilating. Uh, I was having. It was a combination of things. And I was like, oh man, this ain't right. I was like, I'm gonna pass out here. So, there was a hospital right close by where I was, and I just swung by there, man. And they ended up putting 2 bags of IVs, man. And the doctor was like, man, you're hydrating, man. You were just not consuming enough vitamins and electrolytes. And so now what I'm doing, man, I'm eating breakfast. If I'm not hungry, I'm eating breakfast. I wake up drinking a bottle of water. I started buying Pedialyte, man, advanced Pedialyte, which has a lot of electrolytes. Gatorade does have a lot of, electrolytes and all that, but, it has sugar as well and all kinds of stuff. But, the doctor recommended to at least consume once that a day. If you really, really feel fatigue and all that, and you feel like having headache, dizzy, drink 2 a day, man. So that's my story, man. I had this is not a joke. I have never felt this. But this after this incident with me, man, I am actually on point when I get to hydration, and I recommend everybody don't take it for granted, man, because it just takes once. I'm still not 100%. I still kind of like feel woozy, so you're not recuperating because we're still in the sun. But I just consume a bunch of liquid. I eat right, so I just recommend all you guys to do that. That's my story, bros.
Thank you, guys. Again, this is not something. We're the only ones to be able to bring topics up or tell what happens. Any one of you can bring topics, bring it to the safety committee, or even point it out on any of the calls. And the safer we can make this environment for us, the better. So that's it for us, Tommy. Thank you, Aurelio, for your share. Hope you get better, feel better soon. That will be it for now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, absolutely. Thank you for all of that information. They're really, and yes, we all hope that you recover 100% quickly and feel much better, man. Yeah, this is very serious. I literally just shared this story and a lot of the feedback and things that we as your leaders continue to hear and see and recognize as well. We continue to fight and bring up things and make points. And I pretty much unleashed a little bit, and based off of this story yesterday with a conversation with Brett and just relaying this information and relaying this will need to do for you all. That's why there are a lot of different initiatives with how serious the safety portion is taken off within our region. The things that your leadership is doing to try to make things better for you all to be safe. With just the small things we can do with like unifying with coolers and things like that, so you guys can have something to store your liquid, maybe even some sandwiches or quick snacks and things like that. But this is very serious. It's near and dear to all of us, and as you've heard us say, we do not need any of y'all to try to be superheroes. You are not superheroes, and we don't expect you to be. We expect you to be humans, and being hardworking and dedicated is one thing. Being unsafe, and we do not want you being unsafe. So do what you need to do, and if you have any issues or if you need anything, please let us know. All right, we'll move on to the retail updates. So just kind of to get through this a little bit, as you all have been probably hearing, and as I'm sure it's gone through the grapevine, but the Vivint strategy at this point has been that the retail channel for Best Buy has been discontinued. This will not be impacting any of you all or any of the frontline field operations. No employees on our end as far as that. We're trying to grow this team, field ops team. So that's not something that is being looked at all, or has happened, or will happen. There will be no impact to our front line of the organization. So we're actually growing there. The retail focused pros, as far as if you were a quote unquote Best Buy, we all know that has kind of gone away over the last about month or so, to where there wasn't like a differentiating between who was doing Best Buy jobs and all that stuff. We know that, but so that's no different there either. So that's not being impacted with this change either. You'll still continue to work your schedule and do all sales channels. So that's no issue there either. We will be in field ops. We will be adjusting the schedules, which you all are beginning to hear about. We did align the organization towards the retail channel and begin to staff up in that 10 to 8. We are creating additional shifts right now from 8 to 6 and eliminating that late 10 to 8 shift. So there's more information that's coming on that, where we're actually working on that right now, and I'll be submitting a document for it today. So our scheduling team will be putting that into action. Knowing that obviously that there are also different pay models, as you all have heard, and talks have been out there, and it's not secret knowledge or anything, but there has been a plan, and it is in action to work on a unified compensation solution that'll take into account the market pay across the U.S. and Canada, but also streamlines the approach with the teams. The compensation is not being changed right now with this change, but it is something that is being worked on and will be changed down the line as far as a unified compensation plan. There are a couple of things that will continue ongoing to support some of the pending sales or sales that were already scheduled on the Best Buy end and things like that with the customers moving forward. So we will continue those types of things. Just as another update in this strategy update, the field operations was asked to reduce the spending across the back office function. So that's the corporate office in Provo. So to reduce the spending across the back office by about 8%, and that will allow us as an organization to repurpose those funds. So we'll be able to invest those in some better areas, some mid-level positions that were catering towards retail channels in the back office may have been eliminated, and there may have been some employees impacted on that. Again, that is no front line as far as us or anybody on our end that has been impacted by that. There's actually been about a dozen or more schedulers that have been added to assist with some workload to provide some better experience as well, and we're continuing to hire in the field. As you all know, we have a number of recs that we're still filling in our region as well, and that's happening across the nation and Canada as well. And also, as always mentioned, love top recruiting. So if you guys know anybody that is hard working, dedicated, communicate, and is ready to go after and get it, then let us know, and your managers will look forward to interviewing and seeing what they got. So if you do have somebody that would be great for our team, please refer them, and we'll see what we can do there. So there'll be more communications that come out about this, but again, this is not something that is really going to impact us. I mean, if anything, it will be a positive. It's a good decision as far as organizational decisions to make financially, and we were wasting and spending a lot of money into that initiative, which was supposed to give us a lot of benefits. So I'm for it. I think it'll be a good thing. We will still have other channels that will help us grow as a company and as an organization, like we're looking into and doing some stuff with Sam's Club ranges, and this is just part of why and how Vivint stays innovative and stays at the head of the game right now, especially being a smaller player financially, but these are the types of moves that we make to stay ahead of the game. So that's it for the retail update. So so next we will go with some important field ops quick hits from Derek Maroon. Derek, you ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to talk today about some of the field ops important stuff that they send out. Weekly they send out on Wednesdays a weekly update with the field ops team. And last week they sent one out. We should be getting one again today. I'm going to go over last week's. The top of it is obviously the Google Homes, which is I'm gonna skip over that section due to the fact Curtis Duty is going to be going over some of that stuff here in just a little bit. So I'm going to skip on down to the weekly headlines. One big thing that has came down for us to pay attention to is our 4-camera limit on customer accounts. We want to make sure that we're following that 4-camera limit. And I'm going to this limit only applies to new customers sold after May 2nd. Move customers that previously had more than 4 cameras will be allowed to maintain the same number of cameras that they had before. So we're going to stay with those 5 cameras. Barring that the internet at their new location, everything is working and up to par with our standards. If a new install includes more than 4 cameras, first thing we want to do is contact AMI and let them know. Pros should not upgrade a customer more than 4 cameras. If the customer continues to insist after you have attempted to, de-escalate it. Contact AMI for the new installs and contact account creations for upgrades on service. Very rare exceptions may be made, and in these cases, the pro will be notified in advance of that install. If the customer is approved for more than 4 cameras, the pro should be notified before they even head out there. The next thing is the splitters, which is the part number 50759. which is the electrical splitters for our electrical outlets. Those have been changed over to auto order. A web order is no longer required to have those shipped to you. So that's it. A lot of us have been using them, and so those have been shipped over as a regular item to be on auto order. 400 cameras with a malfunction. So basically what's happening is, unfortunately, in some instances, the pigtails are being cut on outdoor cameras, and they're being sent back as bad. Supply chain has seen a significant increase in the 400 cameras returning with no fault found. Many of these cameras are being pulled or device malfunction. And then it goes on and gives us some guidelines. On service tickets, do not pull a camera just because the wire's cut. If there's a connectivity issue, troubleshoot the device on site using the HD 400 SOP as a reference. HD 400 cameras should only be replaced if there is a device malfunction that cannot be corrected on site. Installs, do not cut the camera wire leads. Always use the included pigtail that is supplied with the camera. If you have any questions on that, please refer to the HD 300 400 outdoor camera SOP. Inventory reconciliations on service tickets. Currently in TechGenie, reconciliations on task list is only required on installs. June 13th, that same process will be required on all service visit types, service moves, upgrades, etc. We should all have a training in our Vivint University, and that was to be completed by June 11th. So if that training has not been completed, you're late on that. We need to make sure that you get that done ASAP. Please work with your FSMs and your team trainers and make sure that we get that done as soon as possible. On the safety corner, on the SOP, on the weekly send out, this month is June is National Safety Month, and we are celebrating by focusing on safe driving. Summer months means more traffic on the road and more people playing outside, increasing hazard exposure. Have you almost ever backed your car up over someone's bike or skateboard? This week, our focus is preventing backing collisions. And if everybody would take a look at that, they're talking about the circle of protection with our cones and how we are supposed to place those. On your cones, they're not supposed to be placed in front and behind your vehicle. The cones are not there to protect your vehicle. They're there to protect you while you're working around your vehicle, getting your parts, equipment, ladders, things like that out. So we want to make sure that we're putting our cones a safe distance away from our vehicles so that we have room to move around our vehicle in a safe area, kind of like a barrier. And then, of course, besides that, guys, we want to make sure that when field ops is sending out any emails that we're paying attention and we're looking at those. Lots of great information that they're sending out. We want to make sure that they're sending, because obviously they're always sending out a safety note. They're always sending out the new information that we have coming out. And so if you have any questions on any of those updates, please reach out to your FSM and ask questions, guys. I appreciate your time today, guys. Thank you. Safe out there.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Next topic, quick hits. Jose, you ready? DW21 VCE reconciliations.
Yes, sir. Good morning. It's a beautiful day at Vivint. Let's start talking about the DW21s. We know that we have to install a DW21 whenever it's possible in every install, taking in consideration the DW21 SOP. If you have questions or need training or you have some concerns installing or not sure, please ask your team trainer or FSM. They will be happy to help you with this. It is a metric in one of the buckets of the new dashboard that you can find in TechGenie. VCE. Use VCE equipment for all tickets, except for new installs that are less than 30 days old. This is something that's been around a long time, so everybody should know this. If everyone is receiving the VCE to their homes, make sure that you have all VCE equipment in your truck at all times. If you use a VCE and it's bad, please reclassify it before installing or deploying a new one. Recons. Perform a full recon every 7 days. Count and make sure your inventory is 0, 0. That means that everything that TechGenie says you have in your truck should be there. Finger drill this reconciliation because it can give you problems down the road. If you forget, maybe there was a mistake on your inventory on a deployment or a pool and you forget about it, then it will be much harder to find where the error was. You can verify what was deployed in every install, every service, and every ticket that you have if you go to TechGenie in the inventory section under add and deploy by account, add and pull from by account. Stay in top of your inventory at all times. If you have questions or concerns with the way that you do the inventory, please contact your or also contact your team about best practices for this. If you're going to be off or you're going to be on PTO the day that you go out, please be the last day that you work, please recon your inventory. So that means that will help you. If you're out like a week, you will not show on the report that comes out every week. And last, stay left of bang on this. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. Very sharp on those. I appreciate it. And just like you said, team, if you have any questions or concerns, or you're not confident with the way you install 21 or something with drilling through the frames and stuff like that, if you're concerned with making a home damage, let us know. If a customer we know you guys run into those $3,000 doors and stuff like that, it happens. We know that there are one-off situations. That's not the case, and especially according to the percentages that we have, that would be like a serious majority at this point. So we know that what that means is that we do just have some improvement to make on our end as well. So let's make those improvements and do it per the SOP as possible. And when you can't, and there are those one-offs like a $3,000 door that a customer demands you do not drill in, you make the proper notes, as you should be making on every single job anyway, very detailed. So then that way we know, anyone that looks at the account knows that it was not allowed, and you did what you were supposed to do per the customer, what the SOP was as well, with the mixture to appease that customer. Yeah, recons, just make sure we're getting those done. And also, there was something else I forgot, but we'll come back to it. Team trainers, you guys got something?
Yeah, I got some, Tommy. It's Austin. How y'all doing?
Take it away, Austin. The champ is here.
Hey, hey guys, man. Main thing I wanted to go over this was about the flash drive, man. It seems like I know on my team we got several guys not utilizing the flash. With the flash drive and just keep it at home. Like we had a situation where a customer wanted, one of the pros wasn't aware that he needed to stay at the home until the update was done. which we know is, probably sometimes can take up to an hour. And in that case, we're wasting a lot of our time by not utilizing what they're putting out there for us. And, the flash drive has gotten better. When they first came out with the rapid flash, was basically it will wipe the panel, and now they're to the point where it's saving everything in the panel, but it's doing the update, and it's still only taking like 15 minutes tops. So I mean, it's helping us be way more efficient at what we need to do for the customer, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows how to do it. If not, you need to get with your FSM team trainer to go over it, just get some additional training. If you know where it's at, ask me, call me, reach out. But they got it directly. The link posted. They sent an email out for it. So definitely everybody be utilizing that, man, because it's going to help you out, help you be more efficient, and take care of the customer a lot quicker. So that's all I got this morning, Tommy.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very quick hit and very important. So appreciate that, Austin. Also, I did remember what I was going to say. So reiterating, just like what Jose was saying about the recons. Yes, please, 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 team, do not be the pro in any team that says that I haven't used these parts in months, so I know exactly how many there are there. Count them. Count the single part in your possession. Every recon. No exceptions. Please don't tell us that you've done that ever, because you haven't done it. So don't do it. Count everything every time, please. It will save you pain and suffering down the long run. All parts need to be in your vehicles unless approved by your manager and myself. You are not allowed to just leave your parts at home. If you get audited, those parts need to be on you, and you need to have all of your parts. If you run into a customer situation where you may need a random part that you just thought that you could leave at home, and now you're in a situation and you can't satisfy the customer, please, just make sure that you keep all of your parts there. And also in a full-on smart hub market, if you have to pull an MP2 from a service ticket or something like that, pull it as bad, because if you pull it as good, you will be required to use it ASAP if you have it on hand as good in your truck. If not, you will show up as failing to use an MP2 when you should use one, even if you're in a smart hub market. If you have questions about that, get with your managers and myself, and we will let you all know. All right. So moving forward, the Curtis of duty, Google Mini.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to have to apologize for the quality of my voice today. Apparently, I've been feeling a little yucky. So many of you know that you've seen on your task list that they've added 2 Google Minis to every package that you're installing. It's a base part of the package that cannot be removed or edited for any reason. It is adding an additional $99 that's built into the customer's package. That can't be edited. Basically, the reason and the logic behind why the company is doing this is that the more products, and market research has confirmed this, the more products, the more they value their system, and the longer they will remain customers. This has been true in the marketplace for a number of different businesses. For example, whatever bank, whenever you go into your bank, whenever you do a transaction, they're going to try to sign you up for another savings account or another credit card, right? Because the more they deeply embed you in their business, the less likely you are to leave. This is true across the board. We found that it's true for Vivint as well. So if we can give our customers an additional product or feature that they didn't have before that they can fall in love with, it's going to lower our retention rate and increase our customer satisfaction. So you will not be able to remove these Google Minis. Up to this point, we've had to use, and you should have all been instructed on this, the drop ship option, because many of you had these Google Minis in your inventory. That should quickly change the next time you replenish I believe that most of the Google Minis have been delivered to the FSLs, so you should pick them up and get them on your truck. As far as the process for installing, I know some of you may be feeling like, oh great, this is just something else that I have to install in extra time. If you look at the SOP for the Google Mini, you will see that what you're going to do with them is give them both to the customer at the beginning of the install and instruct them to follow the instructions inside of the box. The way that this can turn into a good thing is after you've done your walkthrough, the customer knows where you're going to be working and what you're going to be working on. In that time, you don't necessarily need them anymore. And if they are following you around, some of you that kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest. So if you give them this project to do, they're going to be busy installing their own Google Mini, and they're not going to be, pestering you if that's the case, right? So have them get in on that project, have them get excited, have them install it where it needs to be. You will see in the SOP that there's a couple places you don't want to see these Google Minis installed. One of them is going to be near water sources. Like, it's pretty common for people to put these items on their kitchen counters near their sinks where they could get it could get wet and get destroyed. Another one is near the stovetop where people do a lot of cooking. They probably want to use their music right next to where they're cooking. Again, bad spot for that. Obviously, when we leave, they're going to move it wherever they want. I would just advise your customers on that so that we don't get calls back out to repair damaged Google Minis. Customers need two things to operate a Google Mini. One is internet, and two is a smartphone, because they'll have to download the Google Home app. You will come across customers who don't have one or both of those things, and Google Mini. However, it cannot be removed from the pack. Going to be doing as a company. So again, you're gonna, if you don't have this inventory, you will soon, and until you have it, you will choose the drop ship option when you go to attempt to deploy this. Let the customer know that it's on the way. They'll be very happy when they get that package. If anybody has it,
Thank you, the Curtis. Hope that you feel unyucky soon. All right. Inventory updates. Justin, you ready? Justin. No, Justin. All right. Do we have any Q&A? Austin says that he would like to speak one more time. So, Austin, are you out there?
Yes, sir, right here. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot. I wanted to also discuss some tips on troubleshooting from different guys on your teams, girls on your spins is, we're running into issues. We're pulling a lot of K 400, 300. Some Out of 10, and that'll save you from having to pull that camera and frustration of messing with replacing a camera, adding a camera to a panel. So that's true with the doorbell camera as well. I've seen where it wouldn't factory reset a lot of times. And here on our team, a lot of troubleshooting on cameras and panels that we're pulling just to verify that they are bad. And 9 times out of 10, all I needed was to be disconnected and hard reset. Basically no power, a couple of minutes, and then add power, and then factory reset the camera. Everything works fine after that. 450 cameras, as we all know, they don't usually add in the first time. I mean, here and there they do. I get lucky sometimes that they add straight into the panel. You have to reset PoE several times to get it to add in. Sometimes just switching the PoE for a new one and then using that PoE on another job, it works. So, they're a little bit finicky. They're a little bit touchy, because using the camera already plugged in, doing where it's one possible. We can use WPS, but Wi-Fi Connect seems to work quite a bit better. Really, it adds in for me, at least after the second time. Now resetting those PoEs, you definitely want to reset the PoEs with the camera still plugged in. And factory resetting the PoEs is going to be at least 20 seconds pushing the reset button. If you do it less than that, it's not a factory reset, it's just a soft reset. So it won't help your situation. So just be sure everybody, all you guys, everybody out there knows, hold that button down for 20 seconds with the camera plugged in. Give it a couple of minutes after that, try adding it again. I go into it with the mindset already knowing that probably the cat is 450s. So just already know you're going to have to mess with it a little bit, and if not, good, but if so, definitely don't let it get to you. Don't let it frustrate.
All right, man. Thank you. My audio cut out right at the very end there, so I couldn't tell if you had finished talking. But thank you. Does anybody have anything else as far as anything that they wanted to share? Any questions, Q&A? I know that we're right at 8:03, and you all are getting homes. So just a couple minutes if anybody had anything.
Yeah, Tommy, this is Alberto. Can you hear me well?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to probably one of the about was the message that we got from Jennifer about sign lights that no longer are required for installs and no longer are going to be sent to the pros, going to give to the pros. So if a customer needs wants a sign light, they need to communicate with customer care to get one. So that's basically it.
Thank you. Thank you for covering that. Any other Q&A, any feedback, anything that you all had? I thought I heard somebody else in there. All right. Well, it sounds like we are ready to just go dominate. Again, thank you all. We appreciate it. There is a lot of new blood joining the team and coming in and wrecking shop and giving us this great support that we need to take these things. Appreciate everything that you all are doing. Your leadership is working very hard to get everything staffed up and all of the teams up to speed and to size. You all are doing everything that you can to keep the markets running, keep the customers happy, and keep yourselves safe. more than anything. We really do care about all of you, and we appreciate everything you all do. If you need anything, if you have questions, if you're concerned with anything, if you have a problem with anything, if you want to be developed on something, please come to here for you. We care about you all, and let's go ball so hard. Thank you. Have a great week.